Hi, it's Michael Mekhitarian from ATV Partners. Here's a bit of information about ABNs and GST. So if you're conducting a business in Australia, you need to have an ABN number. That's an Australian business number. And you registered that number through our tax office, the ATO. If your turnover is 75,000, or you think you're going to have turnover of 75,000 as a business, or 150,000 as a not-for-profit, you are then obliged to change that ABN to a ABN registered for GST. And again, that's something you go through the tax office and switch it to being registered for GST. So what does that mean? That means then at that point of time, your invoices need to have 10% added to the cost. Now, not all goods and services provided in Australia have GST. For example, fresh food is GST free. Some medical services are GST free. So depending on what you do, what type of business you own, you need to have a good look at whether you do need to charge GST. Having said that, most businesses do charge GST. Once you're registered for GST, then that means you also need to provide a tax invoice to your customers. Now, what is a tax invoice? Well, a tax invoice is exactly what it says, an invoice. So it's a piece of paper, be that a PDF or an email, but it must include certain things. So it's got to include the word tax invoice. It has to include your ABN, the name of your business, and it must have the price including GST on it. However, if the invoice is for over $1,000, then it requires a couple of additional pieces of information, and that is, it requires the purchaser's details, so who you are selling it to. It also requires you to give line items showing GST. Now, the good news is that these sort of things can be set up in Xero, and once you do that, then it just happens automatically. So that's what you do with tax invoices.